Greetings traders out there in Traderland. My name's Dez here at Grok Trade, and this is the weekend edition. This very thorough, fast, and educational video is good through Sunday, February 24th, 2013. On Friday, as the markets rallied back strong, you had the S&P up 0.88%, the Dow up 0.86%, the Nasdaq up almost 1%, Russell's up 1.2%, Banks up 1%, VIX dropping a whopping 7%, now down near 14. Gold bouncing back about 1/4%, silver up 1/3%, and you have crude oil up 0.5%, US dollar up a fraction, transportation up again nicely, up 1.16, leading the Dow, and you have the utilities sector here up more than 1%. Taking a look here at the S&P daily, we had a massive crack on Wednesday. Big crack. Now before let's psychoanalyze this. A lot of people coming in here, euphoria setting in, greed setting in. Then you start to get a little bit of turbulence, a little bit of pullback, and you have people saying, hey, buying opportunity, so they buy. Immediately they get this whipsaw, this major daily correction to the downside, freaking out a lot of people. However, again, we find ourselves at a support line. This support line right here, coming over here, right there, boom, we get support, we get a bounce. And look at this major shadow here on this hammer. People buying these lows right back up. Then we go higher and higher and higher and higher. We reach this 5-year high on the S&P. Now, anytime you go up at a small slant and you get an immediate pop, it's kind of like, if you know, that euphoric moment that hits you and then you fall asleep right afterwards. So you had an immediate drop on Wednesday, and then on Thursday there was continuation to that drop, but to end out the week we were in fact bullish. I once had a wise old sage in the markets tell me that in a bull market, usually Mondays are bullish and Fridays are bearish, because they open their trades on Monday, and then on Friday people are selling their trades so they're not holding over the weekend. In a bearish market, usually Mondays are bearish and Fridays are bullish, because on Fridays they are opening their short positions, and then they end the week on Friday. They are selling, or they are buying to close their positions, and that's why you get a pop. I don't know if that's necessarily the case here, but in fact we do have a sizable pop now, going back above the 20-day moving average. If it pulls back a little further here, touching this area of resistance, so we have support here, support here, support here, little support here, we broke that support now acting as resistance. There could be a selling opportunity to the downside. That will be our first lower swing high if that happens. So we got a swing high here, we drop, swing low, swing high right here, and we drop again. So you'd have that type of formation, looking for a selling opportunity for a next leg down. Now if that happens, that would coincide quite well with what we're seeing on the weekly chart here on the S&P. Big run, and this is actually the first bearish week we have seen in the last 7 weeks. So what was interesting to see is that the close on Friday, that major rally back, I thought this was a great selling opportunity. However, it bounced back, starting to build this base again. So because of how we ended on Friday, I'm not so sure now that the markets are ready to pull back. That was quite a run. But you know, on the spiders, let me show you something. If you go here to the spiders for the week, gang, that's really low volume for such a whipsaw. Not very big volume at all. And if I go to the daily chart, look at Friday's pop. Happened on very small volume. So, but here's the caveat to that. If you look here at the futures where the smart money's playing, it's massive volume, which holds more weight than what we're seeing on the cash ETFs. So this is something to pay attention to. you have a nice drop on increasing volume, but that pop right here heading back up should have been on really low volume. We did not see that. We saw sizable volume here. So that's saying there's a good chance of a rally commencing. So going back to the S&P weekly, the question is, will we start to drop? If my scenario plays out where we pop up a little bit and then drop right here, if that happens on the daily chart, then the weekly chart should start to sink, and you'll start to see the markets pull back a bit, giving us really good opportunities to buy maybe at another area of support. If you look here at the monthly chart, we're still heading higher. We have higher highs, higher lows, all is well so far. If you go here to the Dow, so far for the month, we are above an area of resistance. Now, this is one of those moments where usually you'll pop above it and come back down. That will just be an upper shadow, a wick up here, and then you will drop. So I'm not too excited about this yet. If you look here at the weekly chart, we're just building a high base. If we start to break down, it's a selling opportunity. You look here at the daily chart, we started to get down in the selling area, but it didn't stay long. It just came right back up. There on Thursday, Friday, big pop on just not very good volume. A lot of sideways action here, but we are above the 20-day moving average. Here on the NASDAQ, a lot of you guys trading tech stocks, you have this little pop here taking place. I think if this were to drop, pop, and then hit this area of resistance and then drop again, you could have a selling opportunity here on a drop. If you look at the weekly chart, it started to drop, but people are buying into that after it hit the rising 11 EMA moving average, came right back up. So, you know, the markets are broken right now. There's a good chance for things to fall down because of what happened on Thursday, Wednesday and Thursday. On the monthly, we have a doji at a resistance point. So for NASDAQ is concerned, we're at resistance. We have a doji. It's monthly. Anything can happen, but this looks more bearish to me than what the Dow does. Look at the Russell's monthly. You can see here we popped up, but look at that big upper shadow. A lot was been given back on small caps, so there's not as much confidence on the small cap stuff or on technicals. You look at the weekly chart, we're at resistance. We started to break down. We could not get into that selling area where we could really commit to selling short. On the daily chart here, we pop back up above an area of resistance. So support here, support here. We broke that support. Now we closed above that resistance. Not too bad if you ask me. Taking a look here at the VIX, you can see that we had this sharp pop, and now we're starting to drop. Lower high, lower low right now. If you look at the weekly chart, you can see we popped up here, but we gave a lot of it back. On the monthly chart, you can see a little bit of a pop here, but nothing to speak of. Let's look at gold on a monthly chart. We're at a support area, gang. Support, support. Look at this. Resistance, support, support. We're at that support. We touched it and came right back up here on gold on the monthly chart. This could be a sizable buying opportunity. If you look at the weekly chart, doesn't look as great. Support, support. We broke that so far on the week. Not so grand. But if I were to come in here, bring another area of, I'd put a support, support. Yeah, that looks, yeah, right. We're at that area of support. So this could be a buying opportunity on a bounce here. On the daily chart, we're starting to try to come back here. Big volume here. Could be capitulation taking place. Let's take a look at silver. Same thing with silver. It needs to pop up here for a buy. This is the daily. Here's the weekly. The weekly, if you check this out, I'm going to support, support, support. This is a big time buying opportunity, it looks like here. This could be ready to rally. Let's see what the monthly holds. The monthly, support, support, support. We broke that. The monthly doesn't look good at all. So I'm not nearly as excited about that, but usually gold and silver, they do move together. A couple people asking about Google and Apple's. Look at this on the monthly chart. Man, Google is just on fire. We were at one point over 800. We closed just a smidgen under 800, which is a major area of resistance. On the weekly chart, looks pretty excited, like it wants to pull back here. So I'm not saying that the markets are going to pull back here. I'll tell you this, Nasdaq starts to pull back, look for Google to give some back too. We're having a hard time, but we do have a little pinching pattern here. This is a bullish pennant formation that could break out and get bullish, build a little base, get a little energy, break out over 800. Let's take a look at Apple while we're here on the daily chart. Apple, we have this area. If we go way back here, you can see resistance. We hung up on that area, support there. We gap down below it, we break above it. Now we're just kind of hung up here, so we're at that area of resistance. But if we start to rally here, it could be a buying opportunity for Apple. Weekly chart here, we're in a down leg, lower high, lower low. We have some resistance to deal with, so it might be too early to buy. And on a pullback here, we have a beautiful pullback. Chances are, let's do a Fibonacci retracement. This is a crude one, but we're at around the 38 right now. So anyway, a few things to think about. And hey, let me say this. We're starting to receive people sending in pictures of I love Grok or Grok rocks and that sort of thing. And here's one I'd like to show you. Thank you so much. And listen, if you would be so kind, now you don't have to, but if you want to, take a picture of yourself next to your trading machine. Or if you are at a cool place here in the United States or in the world, just write down on a piece of paper, Grok rocks, or I love Grok trade, or something like that. Put a piece of paper, take a picture of it with your cell phone, send it in to us, and we would love to get those. You can send them in to admin@groktrade.com, and we'll post probably most of them. So there you have it. Take care, safe trading, share this video with a friend.